How to find cheap property for sale. Well, welcome back. Now in this episode, I'm going to answer your question, how to find cheap property for sale. Now my name is Ted Thomas. For the past 30 years, I've been teaching students and investors how to buy tax lien certificates and tax defaulted property. And you're going to learn how to get cheap property right away. In this lesson, now this is a little known but highly lucrative business where you can make genuine real profits. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about how to get cheap property for sale. But actually, I'm going to kind of revise that a little bit. And instead of talking about cheap property, I'm going to show you how to get good properties for 5, 10, 20 cents on the dollar. So you're going to change your investment philosophy a little bit. Now, at the end of this video, before I finish, I'm going to have a free gift for you. So stay until the end, take advantage of that free gift, and I'm going to teach you 2 big mistakes that are made at auctions. I'll come back in just a second and start teaching you those things. Now, everybody wants a bargain, and I understand that. And once you learn this strategy that I'm about to teach you, you'll be able to do this for the rest of your life. Now, I don't call them cheap property, but a lot of people say cheap, and I hope you're not thinking about junkers and leftovers that are really deteriorating out there in the sun and the rain. I'm going to teach you how to get the properties cheap, but they're going to be worthwhile properties where you can make profits. And there's going to be lots of them. So most newcomers talk to me, they say, I want to get bargains. I say, okay, I'll show you how to get low prices, but they're not cheap property. They're going to be good properties that will have margin between the price you pay and what you're going to be able to sell it at. Now, I'm going to be able to guide you, and you're going to be able to sit right there at your desktop, and I'm going to show you thousands of low-priced properties, even building lots that you can buy for pennies that are available in every county in the United States. Now, when I say every county, I'm talking about 3,000 counties across America. And all of these counties are authorized to have a tax defaulted auction. A tax defaulted auction. What does that mean? That means the property owner did not pay the taxes, and the local government is going to do just what the legislature has authorized that they do. And what is that? They're authorized to levy the tax, collect the tax, and if they can't collect the tax, what they will do is they'll confiscate. I mean, they'll seize the property and they'll sell it at auction. So if you don't find the first one, the auction you go to, the property you want, I can tell you, hang in there, because you can just try again. There's 5,000 of these auctions nationwide, and they're taking place every week all across the year. Everyone can do the same thing. All right, now there's over 3,000 counties doing this and 5,000 auctions. Now the county is actually taking these properties and seizing them because many property owners have not paid their property tax. Now, why would the county do such a thing? Well, the county has a lot of responsibility, and their responsibility includes, number one, paying the county employees. I'm sure you understand that. Okay, how about the police and sheriff? They have to pay them. How about the firefighters? They have to pay them. So these people are paid from property tax dollars. So the county is always going to need money. So if property owners don't pay their taxes, the county's going to take action. First action they'll take is they'll levy the tax, and then they'll try to collect the tax. If they can't, they will seize the property. Now, that happens in every county in the United States. There's over 3,000 counties. So what I'm telling you, there's always going to be an abundance. So just kind of fade that word cheap out of your mind and say low-price bargain properties for low dollars with no mortgage that you'll have nice margin to purchase. So this is a great business. It's been around for 200 years. I didn't invent it. It's been here for 200 years. So the county is mandated by the local state government, which is the legislature. The legislature mandates that they collect taxes. So they levy it, then they try to collect it. If they can't collect it, they seize the property. But the county doesn't want any more property, so they sell them at auction. Now, what's that auction? Well, the auction starts at basically the back taxes. So you're not going to get a property that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for hundreds of thousands. You're going to get a property for the back taxes, or slightly above that. So the back taxes and fees is where they start. Now, when this auction takes place, they delete the actual mortgage on the property. Or if you're in the West, it's a deed of trust. They delete the mortgage loan on that property. It's absolutely wiped out, and the county does that before you get the property. So now we're talking about getting properties, bargain prices with no mortgage. Now, folks, it's not going to get any better than that in the business. Now, I've been at this for 30 years. The first 5, I was just an investor, and then I started teaching people, guiding people, mentoring, and coaching. And I'm going to tell you, this business is a business of abundance. I changed all my other investments just do tax liens. Why? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we get these properties. You want to say cheap? I'm going to say we have bargain properties. How cheap do we get them? We get them 60, 70, 80. I've even seen 90% discounts from the appraised price. Now, you think about this. If a property was worth $100,000 and you could get it for an 80% discount, you would be one happy camper, especially when the mortgage had been deleted. They took the mortgage completely off the property. I've seen, and I have students that have purchased properties with 90% discounts. Are you going to get one that cheap? I don't know, but you'll never find out if you don't get involved and get to a couple of auctions to find out. So what's our episode about today? Our episode is how to find cheap property for sale. All right, well, I don't call them cheap. I call them properties that are bargain prices. You don't have to buy cheap junkers. You don't have to buy leftovers. You can buy good properties. I've seen them go for 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents. I myself buy 20 and 30 cents all the time, and all of these properties have no mortgage. You can do the exact same thing. There's going to be plenty for anybody, for everybody. I can assure you, anyone that wants to can do this. All right, quick repeat, 5,000 auctions, so that means about 100 every week in America. There's 3,000 counties that do this, and approximately half of those counties sell a tax lien certificate. Now, a tax lien certificate is a certificate where the property owner does not get thrown out of the property. They're still in the property. And tax lien certificate people, and there's lots of videos in this session, in this channel, that'll tell you about those. But tax liens pay 16, 18, 24, up to 36% of the top rates on tax lien certificate. But today we're talking about how to find cheap property. Well, you're going to find a lot of inexpensive properties and expensive properties that you can buy for bargain prices at the tax defaulted auctions. These auctions are happening all the time. All right, sometimes they'll sell buildable lots, which I personally like, and they sell them for absolute pennies. Why? Because 99% of the people come from the same framework. You were born in a house. First of all, you were conceived in the house, then you were born in the house. You grew up in the house. What are you going to do? You're going to bid at houses when you get to the auction. Now, I'm a contrarian. I like to buy buildable lots because everybody else is out bidding on the houses, so now I don't have a lot of bidders against me, and I can sell those quickly. In all cases, you can sell quickly because we buy low and we sell low. Let's do it again. We buy low, we're going to sell low, and we do it fast. That's a strategy that no other real estate company, every other real estate guy you talk about, buy it low and sell it high. Not Ted. Ted wants to buy it low, sell it low, and I want to do it fast. That way I can do as many as I want every year. Again, 5,000 auctions every year. All right, so what are we talking about today? Today we've been talking about how to find cheap property. I prefer to buy properties that are bargain priced at tax defaulted auction. Now, you can do the same thing. Now, the state of California is a perfect example. So in California, if you went to Los Angeles, now I've been there many times for the auction. Now, that auction could have 1,500 or 2,000 properties that are going to have a starting bid of just the back taxes. So let me say that again. Just Los Angeles, not the whole state. They could have 1,500 to 2,000 properties for auction, and the starting bid will be the back taxes. Now, will that just be a little auction? I don't think so. There'll be 1,000 or 1,500 people, so there'll be a frenzy to buy those bargain properties. But there's about 40 million people in the state, so you can kind of figure that out. All right, so now here's the challenge. Do all states, or do all counties have big auctions like that? No. So if you live in a county that's got a small population, they'll have a small amount of properties. If you live in a place like Los Angeles where they have a big population, well, then you're going to find out they're going to have a lot of properties. So it's perfect for wherever you are. Now, all of this can be done online. I said you can do all of this online. I have investors that I've taught how to do this, the step-by-step process, that make $25,000, $50,000, even $100,000 on one deal. So what I want you to do is get that word, forget about the cheap, think about some decent quality stuff. Now, some of these houses are used and abused. I didn't say they were brand new ones, But the point is, we don't want any junk. We want to buy good properties. All right, now I'm going to finish up here. Before I finish up, I want to remind you, when I finish completely today, below me will be a free gift for you. It'll tell you about the profits and tax liens. It'll also show you how to make big money with tax lien certificates, but it's going to be below me when I finish. So right now, before I finish, I'll do 2 questions. How do I find tax sales? All the tax sales will be listed, number 1, on the county website, and they'll also list them in the newspaper. Can someone bid for you at the auction? I would say yes, someone can bid for you at the auction, but there will always be auction rules, and they'll post those on the website, or if it's electronic auction, they'll post them on the auction site and tell you that. I would say yes, but don't think you're going to walk in and take money out of your pocket. They're going to have a regular process for collecting the money, so that's going to be a little unusual. I won't explain it on this video. All right, so I talked about 2 mistakes. All right, now the 2 mistakes that you want to avoid is, number 1, don't buy any property that you haven't seen. Why? What if there was a hurricane? What if it was next to a chicken farm? You would not want to own a property next to a chicken farm. It's going to stink. So you would not want. Why you wouldn't you want to own it? Because you're going to have trouble selling it. So it's going to make it a worthless property. All right. So the other mistake is you don't want to bid on any property, number 1, that you haven't seen, but number 2, that you haven't figured out the exit strategy. In other words, you need to know what you're going to sell it for before you buy. You don't want to say to yourself, I think I'll buy this and hope I can sell it high. No, you want to know what you can sell it for, and that'll control your bidding completely. Okay, so my name is Ted Thomas. Free gift for you below. Nice to meet you.